Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is Jojo Palacio, and on this channel we talk about all things beauty. Today we are doing this chocolatey warm brown cut crease moment. It is so sultry, so sexy. The liner, I'm obsessed. And we're also trying some new complexion products, new brow products. This is a new product tutorial, so I hope that you guys are ready. It is super easy, super simple. This is a step-by-step how-to process. So tune in guys, get comfortable, and let's get started on this makeup look. All right guys, so let's get started on this smoky, sultry cut creaseness that I have here. So we're gonna start by prepping our eyelids. We're gonna use the ultimate best eyelid base. Right now to me is this P. Louise eye base, and I like to use it in the shade Rumor. So I'm just gonna take this on my Real Techniques buffing brush, I believe this is what it's called. Deluxe crease brush. Wow, nowhere near. Once we have the primer on, I like to set it with a nice loose powder or a compact powder, just something that's translucent or even similar to the base color. I'm just going to pat that over. Okay, so now that we are primed and prepped, we are going into our palette. So today we're gonna use this guy here, which is the Morphe 25B palette. This palette has honestly been a staple in my collection for a while. We're gonna start off by using this shade that's right here. It's a nice chocolate brown. I love Morphe palettes because I can honestly go in and use them at all times. I take this on a M433 brush, which looks like this. It's a nice fluffy but yet tightly packed brush. And I'm gonna take this color and I'm gonna stamp it on or pack it on to the outer corner, leaving my eye open because I want to place it pretty high up in the crease so that when we cut our crease, we won't just lose all the brown. Those colors are so easy to build. I love that. Once we are about here where we've got pigment and it's very choppy, we're gonna start to blend. And so to blend out, we're gonna use a brush that's pretty similar to the first one, except this is part of a collection Morphe did with Jaclyn Hill. This is the JH33, and we're gonna go into these two colors right here. Collect a nice amount on the brush, get rid of the excess, and then here what I want you to do is hold the brush towards the end of the brush and use circular motions with light pressure. Okay, so now that we've blown everything up, we are gonna start to cut the crease. This is gonna come super quickly. It's super easy and simple. So I like to use a nice flat brush and go back into my eye base. So instead of working directly on the lid this time, I'm gonna pump a pea-size amount on the back of my hand, and then we're gonna start to carve this out. And then take a minute to look up and allow this to stamp itself where it needs to be. All right guys, so once we are at this point where we're carved out, let's start filling that in. And I'm gonna take a smaller flat brush and the shade that is right here, and we are going to build that up on the brush and then spray it down with the setting spray. That's gonna help foil the shadow, make it a little wet. The pigment comes through way different, and it also goes onto the lid almost like a liquid eyeshadow. Look at how pretty that looks right there. And so in this area in between the brown and the shimmer, we're gonna take the shimmer that's right next to the one I showed you, which is more of a bronzy brown gold versus an icy gold. I'm gonna take that and just pack that in between the two shades. And I always like to run my finger through that just to soften things up. And so we're gonna go back into that brown, and I'm actually gonna take a little bit of the deeper brown that's at the end of the palette, and we are going to bring back that depth and the darkness in the outer corner. I also like to wiggle this so that I blend out any lines created from the carving. You wanted those lines at the beginning, but you don't really want them when you're done with the look because you want the look to look just smooth and blended. I love that. Such a pretty blend. And then you're gonna wonder, well, what's that color in your inner corner? We're gonna take it from the face palette I'm gonna use later on. This is a BH Cosmetics Blushing in Bali palette, and it's got this gorgeous highlight shade right here. I'm gonna take it on a flat brush, and we're going to work that into that very inner corner of the lid. And I also wanna use it later for the inner corner highlight. We're gonna work this up here. And creating an ombre effect really just gives that dimension to your eyelid. Look at that. Look at how the light just captures all of those colors. This is such a gorgeous look. Love it. Perfection. So how simple was that? We are going to do our wing, and so the wing is really just specific to your eye shape. If you want an in-depth tutorial or even a mini tutorial on Instagram, just comment down below. Always make your requests. I will always comply. I will be right back with a winged liner and some lashes on to work on complexion. All right, guys, so we are back with our eyes on. Look at how gorgeous this is. I can't wait to add the pop to the inner corner and just really make everything so sultry. But let's work on complexion now. So for complexion, I have two different primers that I like to use. So always in the T-zone, something blurring, and then on the outer perimeter, I like to use stuff that's gripping, hydrating, that's gonna help my makeup last, but also allow my skin to just look hydrated and not super cakey. So for that, we're using a combination of primers. We're using the Mercier Pure Canvas Primer in the blurring formula in the T-zone, and then my Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer on the outer perimeter. I'm gonna be out and about, and I'm gonna wear a mask on and off throughout the night, so I know that I need something that's going to be mask proof. Priming and prepping your skin are truly the best ways to make your makeup mask proof, regardless of the foundation that you're using. All right, so once our primer is on, the next step in our routine is this foundation. I'm so excited to use this foundation. So this is the KVD Vegan Beauty Good Apple Skin Perfecting Foundation Balm. I got it in the shade medium, and it is so cool. So the concept is that it's in a compact, but it's still a balm, and I'm gonna use it using a buffing brush. My go-to way to apply foundation is always a buffing brush. Okay, so the coverage is definitely here. I'm trying to not dip into the balm too many times, because the reviews that I've seen say that it can cake if you apply it too generously, but it's very skin-like looking, and the coverage is 100%. So we're going to just re-dip again and then just keep buffing. My concern is the balm part of this is gonna like slip throughout the night, and I don't really need that to happen. So we will see. Hopefully the prep and the set that we do for this foundation works out. Okay, so one thing that I do with foundations, period, just as part of my routine, is take a sponge and just push it into the skin. And I honestly feel like this is gonna be very important for this, because even as I'm blending it out, I can still see lines. So just a heads up. And there is quite a bit on my sponge, so this is probably gonna be a good step in your routine with this foundation. All right, so let's continue with the rest of our complexion. I like to do a cream contour bronzing before I go in with my concealer, and today we're using this Fenty foundation stick, Fenty matchstick in the shade Mocha. And I'm actually gonna go in pretty generously with this, because this is the only cream color that I'm using today. I usually use multiple. Like I'll have more of a warmer tone than this on, but I wanted to just keep it very simple because of this balm. I'm concerned that if I layer too much, it will slip and slide. So pretty. Okay, so now let's move on to our concealer. For concealer today, I don't know which I want to use. I want to do this guy. Yeah, let's just do this guy. This is the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer. I use it in the shade Custard. This has to be one of my favorite cream concealers of all time. So I'm going to take this with a different Real Techniques brush that I use for applying my primer, and we are just going to lay this down exactly where I want it. All right, so once you've laid it down with the buffing brush, I like to go back in and blend it out with a sponge. So we're gonna use my beauty blender to just push this into the skin and really make sure it's blended and it looks like skin. I'm gonna set this with some powder just to make sure it doesn't move around, but I don't wanna lose the glow that we see going on. So let's set with my one size translucent powder first, and I'm gonna push this into my T-zone. I like the translucent powder because it does have a little bit of like a tint to it. It's not just flat white, and that really helps to prevent flashback, but it also brightens. You guys will notice that I not only just bake, but I push it into the skin as I'm blending it out, so that again, we just have one beautiful layer of makeup and not just products sitting on top of each other. Beautiful. And then I'm using the one size turn up the base powder just to kind of set the rest of my complexion and add a little bit of coverage. At this point, guys, you don't want, so you're just going to do a very soft patting, almost rolling motion. You don't want to lift. Love it. While the powder is sitting there, let's go ahead and finish off our under eye area, and I'm just going to take a blend of colors. We're going to start off with the dark brown and a smudging brush. And then go into the 2 crease shades with the smaller, fluffier brush and really blend out that brown. Perfect. And then for that inner corner, finally, we're gonna go into that highlight shade that I used earlier. Beautiful. So for the lower lash line, I am going to put brown. I know, I've been in a mood lately to just do brown on my lower lash line instead of that beige, white, pink color, but let's just go with it. Love that. All right, so let's get some contour going on because we're almost done. I'm so excited. I love when a look just starts to come together. So we're gonna use this shade and light palette by KVD Beauty. I just wanted to see how everything works together. I don't know, I love using products in the same line just to see even how those products work together. So we're gonna use the 2 darkest shades in here to just re-emphasize my contour. So I like to apply that in the shape of an E or a 3. So forehead, chin, and cheekbone. I like to take the center shade that's in this palette, which is this guy here. You can see how much I love to use that shade, and just bronze up just a tiny bit. I also like to use this to break up a little bit of that contouring shade so it doesn't look super dark and gritty, dirty, you know, and set with the setting spray. But before I do, I'm just gonna clean this up. That balm, I can still see the glow from the balm underneath. I think this is gonna be a really pretty, I hope. So as quickly as I put it on, I'm gonna dust it off. This is nothing fancy. We're just going to dust that off. If there's any excess powder from the baking up here, I like to dust it off before we set. And I'm gonna use my setting spray here. We're using the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray, and I'm gonna be very generous with this because again, we're using a mask today. I'm gonna prep properly, and then I've also sprayed down my mask already. I always keep a mask near my desk that I can spritz when I start doing my makeup so that by the time I put it on, the setting spray is dry. So again, we're gonna take our sponge and just push everything in. I feel like this is the best way to guarantee all of your products really just blend and look like skin. We're ready for a highlight, we're ready for a blush, and we're gonna use this guy right here, like I said earlier. I'm gonna take a combination of these 2 for the highlight. This is such a pretty highlight. It is gorgeous. And I love palettes like this to travel because it's convenient. I only take this when I travel. Beautiful. Okay, and then for blush, I don't even know which one I want to do for blush. I'm gonna mix a little bit of everything. And I like to apply it up a little higher these days. All right, so I'm missing a couple of things, guys. I have to do my brows and my lips, but I'm gonna do that off of camera and do my hair as well. So I will be right back to show you the final look. All right, guys, so we are back with the finished look. I used a new brow product today. We did the Anastasia Brow Freeze as the brow gel setting situation, but I also tried the Charlotte Tilbury Brow Cheat Micro Precision Brow Pencil in dark brown. I liked it. It was pretty good. It was very creamy, very easy to blend out. The spoolie is just smaller than your average spoolie, so it was cool to just kind of tweak it and work it and shape my brow to the way that I wanted. The lip, it's a nude lip. It's been the same nude lip combo. It's my favorite drugstore combo. Maybelline Stay Matte Ink in Driver, as well as my NYX lip liner in Sandstorm. I topped it off with a gloss. This is the Marc Jacobs lip lacquer in the shade Sugar Sugar. And that's it for the look. I love the way that this cut crease came out. This liner totally elevated the look. And the foundation, so far, first impression, I like it. We'll see how it wears throughout the night. So I hope that you guys liked this tutorial. If you did, hit the thumbs up, and always, always, always put your requests down below. Also subscribe to my channel. I post every Wednesday and every single Sunday on content like this related to all things beauty. So I love you guys, bless you guys, and I will see you guys next time.